There was a question, why would overthinking be dangerous? Well, to a certain extent, overthinking is yet again nothing else but shifting through your own ideas, your own thoughts, emotions, and whatever piece of meaning you have acquired from others. This is not necessarily a dangerous thing, but the point is when you overthink, you're using a lot of energy and you're just recycling through your own thoughts. When you are your own audience, the only audience that you have, even for a certain period of time, it is easy to simply reinforce some thoughts that may not necessarily support you. Let's say it so. See, the nervous system in our body, well, it doesn't weigh much compared to our physical body, but it does use around 20 to 25% of the whole energy that your physical body gets. So when you overthink, don't be surprised that you're gonna feel tired a lot because, well, your nervous system consumes a lot of resources to function. The nervous cell is indeed a very big one in the body and also is the most voracious cell. It's gonna eat anything, even its own self when it is hungry. Well, honestly, that's how your sensation that you're hungry actually occurs. When you're feeling hungry, it means your neurons are already devouring themselves. Well, don't think now that they're gonna cause too much damage, but there are reasons why people tell you don't stay, starved for too long. Obviously, you're not necessarily going to die from doing a bit of starvation here and there. Probably all of us went through this every now and then. But when it comes to overthinking, see, the only problem is when you're talking to yourself or you are your own audience, you can easily fool yourself with some of the thoughts and ideas, that you've been believing and you're reinforcing, right? It's just that um, now I remembered my idea. So the point is, when you're using your mind too much, you're probably gonna forget one thing. Your mind is a survival mechanism. It is a survival process. And the mind has a little function when the more you feel in danger, it feels like time is somewhat slowing down and you're capable of thinking more. People also may suffer from this. I don't know what it is called, but when you overthink, at times it feels as if time actually flies much faster. Because you reach a certain moment when you actually start forgetting how much time you spent overthinking. Now, yet again, don't forget the mind, if you're overthinking and you're only thinking for yourself, you're probably not having too many pillars of reality, as I call them. Because you might start imagining all sorts of ideas and not asking other questions, other people, especially people who are down to earth, and you only are surrounded by suspicious people and the such, you're probably going to end up similar to them. The problem is, the mind simply will start creating endlessly all sorts of ideas, and you might end up wasting way too much time imagining things instead of actually doing something. Also, when you use the mind, don't forget the mind is just a survival mechanism. Its purpose is to simply store information that you will use further and further, right? When it comes to your relationships with other people, when it comes to your job, when it comes to your spirituality and learning certain things, you will make use of the mind here and there. But don't forget the mind ultimately is a survival mechanism. You need it in order to survive. Because you eat something, you remember it's not good for you, right? You eat something, it's good for you, you remember it, right? The mind remembers all sorts of things at different layers of consciousness or unconsciousness, whatever way you want to call it. Now, the problem is the more you focus on the mind, you're training your body to think at the same time that it is in some kind of dire straits. Because when you only call to your mind when you feel you are in a survival struggle, right? Because you know you're hungry, you're already searching for some recipes to get some food or from some locations where to buy food. The more you overthink, you'll see that the less patience you have. And that's what this sick society is all about. Overthink, be constantly stressed, be panicked, be feared out, right? The more you live in these lower vibrations, you will see that the less stillness you will have. Your mind will be much noisier and it's going to be harder for you to concentrate. When you become calmer and more still, you see that you have way more patience and you're capable of dealing with things in a different way. So the more you focus on your mind, you're giving your body a very weird illusion that you're in dire straits, even if in reality you're actually not. And you're programming your body to actually function more and more into this idea of survival. A lot of people probably can attest, especially if they went out of some cycles where they would overthink things. The more they thought about something, it was easier and easier for them to use it. And if you escape such cycles and look back at them, you'll probably see that you even ended up using those as escapisms, right? Escaping from some pains and the such, you start imagining all sorts of things, right? Especially when you go to bed, you can imagine how your exam will go, how this will go, how that will go. This is another problem because when you imagine those things, you're seeing, it's not that you're seeing images, you're invoking images and also emotions. From a certain perspective, it's like you're asking the universe for those typically chaotic or even downright, death spiraling events to happen because you're gonna think someone close to you is gonna go drive somewhere far away. You're already gonna imagine how they will crash, how they will die, how something bad can happen. It's like you're pleading the universe. It's like you're asking the universe for those things to happen because you're putting energy towards those. It's like you're making a little spell in which you imagine how that thing will happen, and you're like invoking that to happen to those people, to your children, to your loved ones, and the such. And worse than that, well, it's not that you're already a little wizard who is, you're being programmed in a way by reversing the truth, right? You're being programmed by other people's misery to invoke more misery into others. And when you do that, karma will come back biting at you and will give you even more misery in return. Because using your own energy to invoke bad things into other people's life will draw a lot of karma of the worst type into your life. And people wonder why they're trying to do good things, but they're getting so much bad karma. Well, not knowing how life functions in subtle ways, well, you're gonna suffer a lot. And not because I say it, but that's how certain things function. And I don't know, but I don't hear too many people talk about this. So the problem is you're going to invoke a lot of misery, right? And worse than that, you're not feeling gratitude that whatever you've been imagining badly about others, like wishing or asking the universe for those imaginations of yours to happen, right? You're not even grateful that those things didn't happen in the first place. This being said, hopefully this video raised a bit of awareness. You're appreciated, take care, and this being said, Ferenc Board signing out.